Hello and welcome to Guitars for Bars. I'm your host James. Today we're putting primer on this Solo V. Finally! First off, I want to thank all my subscribers and viewers for watching this and checking it out. And I hope you learned something from these videos. And also, if my voice cuts out once in a while, it's because I broke my phone the other day and I haven't had time to replace it. So hopefully by the time we're into the painting part of this, I'll have a new phone. We're going to do the first coat of primer on the Solo V. I'm finally getting to it. I've been busy this summer and haven't had time to mess with it, but we're to it now. So the first coat of primer is going to be actually a sealer. It's primer, but I'm going to use it to fill the grain and really soak into the wood and give me a good solid base to work from. Now, I have sanded off most of or all of the sander sealer that comes on this guitar. I'm down to pretty much bare wood everywhere so that I can really get a good bite with this epoxy primer. Now, I'm using PPG. It's DP LF. This color is 48. It's white. And I'm using the DP LF. The color 50 is gray. I've mixed them together to make a light gray. And they're mixed in this fruit jar. And I'm using the DP 401 LF Catalyst. This stuff's kind of slow. You mix it with, I used 1 tablespoon. This thing here. This jar has 2 spoonfuls of the primer and 1 spoonful of the catalyst. So it's 2-to-1 ratio. You mix it together for 5 minutes. You got to let it sit 30 so that it all does whatever it does. Now I'm going to apply this with a paintbrush and with cardboard to work it into any of the spots that really doesn't want to go into. And I'm going to give it as many coats as I need to get it thoroughly coated and sealed up so that there's no open grain anywhere. I'm using the exact same process I did with the Rust-Oleum primer on the Iron Mockingbird. So if you haven't watched the Iron Mockingbird video, go back and watch that and you'll see how I did the primer on that. I'm going to flip this over and do I'm going to do the headstock first, and I'm going to flip it over, do the back of the headstock, right up the neck, and then I'm going to hang it to do the front. Now I've also got a Jackson V, a Kramer Focus. It's like about 18 or 20 years old. It is plywood. Can you see that? A plywood Kramer Focus guitar. I've put toothpicks in the holes for the pick guard because I don't have the right pick guard, and I'm going to put a fender one on it, and none of the holes line up. And I've also got the BC Rich Beast neck, which I'm going to go ahead and get primer on that because it's hot and it's relatively low humidity for this time of year and where we're at in the country. So whatever primer I got left over from this, I'm going to go ahead and use it to get as far as I can on that stuff. So I'm going to turn this off and do that, and then I'll turn it back on and we'll see what it looks like when it's all dry before I start sanding it. Then after I get it sanded, then it'll get sprayed with primer and it'll get sprayed with paint, and then we will start the process of decorating this one. So I'll see you later. Okay, the first coat's on here, and as you can see, this basswood was pretty thirsty. So it's going to need another coat. There we go. See where it's all soaked into the wood? It should be getting to where it looks a little bit more like the shiny stuff there. Now this has only been about 20 minutes, so this stuff it's dry enough for me to touch, but I wouldn't want to handle it yet. So I've got another batch of primer mixed up because I didn't have enough. And so we're going to give this a second coat and then move on to those other guitars and neck that I've got there. Okay, this is what it looks like after the brushed on primer has dried. Wood was very fibrous. There's a lot of little fibers sticking up. In that area right there, it really soaked up the paint. So That's what it looks like before I sand it. Now, after I sand it, it'll look like that. It's smooth. You can see I sanded through a little bit in a few places, but that's going to be okay because it's going to get primer, paint, clear, glitter, and lots of clear over all that. So we're in good shape right now. So I'm going to call it quits for this video, and the next one will be the primer and the paint. All right. Please subscribe and hit like and share. Thank you very much.